just to see how quickly she would have been out, because I figure it is our duty as Americans to disrupt this White House as much as possible because of what this White House is doing to disrupt America. I think it's only fair, give and take. They are working for us, and if it isn't working, let's fuck with it.
Yeah, that's why we need to start a rumor that Melania and the Mooch are having sex all over Donald's desk.
If I was Melania, I would have an affair with Scaramucci.
I mean, after you've had Donald in you, what won't you put in you?
I would just be like, I mean, it's an upgrade. It's kind of the same, but it's an upgrade.
Yeah. You mean the same thing, but younger and with hair.
Yeah.
And
I probably can actually fuck.
How old is Barron? 10 years of mooching with of douching with Clorox. Just to get that taste
Donald and Melania
out.
haven't had sex since the day that she found out she was pregnant with Barron. That is a fucking fact. I mean, it's not a fact, but it's a fact.
Well, there was a story about how she has been having this long-term affair with the security guy at Tiffany's, New York.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't blame her.
The head of security, and there's so much corroboration that
I'd be on that Princess Diana. I'm fucking my bodyguard too if I was her.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Just until this prenup, stipulations, don't kick in anymore, and I can just bounce, get that Maples money, and take my daughter and go be whores on Dancing with the Stars.
It's good to have goals.
Let's do this. I think Melania thought she was going to be like, I will marry Donald, I will have babies, that will keep me in Americas, and then I will go divorce him, get half or a third perhaps, and then go on Dancing with the Stars in 5 years.
Man, I feel bad for her because she has to have sex with that thing, but
I honestly don't.
I'm
with Klee on this. I don't think she does.
But I mean,
they haven't had sex since 2006.
Well, I think I think it's known she does, but she has to wear an Ivanka mask.
And I love Ivana is in the background just laughing I told you bitches.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you?
I told you should never have taken him. I dumped him for a reason. It wasn't Marla.
He's damaged goods. He's damaged.
I
worked at the.
He take my children, but he don't take my dignity.
I worked at. Now it's Whitney Houston lyrics. Because the greatest.
Love of all this money.
It's not right, but it's okay.
But I worked at the Playboy Mansion back when Hef had the 7 girlfriends, and there was sort of a before the Girls Next Door, but from 2000 to 2002, and I was talking to one of the girls because there was sort of a rotation, and there I was talking to one of the girlfriends one night after a party, and she was a little deep in her cups, so to speak, the drinking kind, not the obvious
I listen
breast
to British
pun.
novels. I know what you mean.
But she was like, man, I mean, he's been doing this for a long time, so he knows you can only get your period once a month. It's just every week it's how do I get out of my day? And
Jesus. Hey, where do you keep the vomit bucket here? Because I am really.
Given my druthers, if I had to pick one, Hugh all the way. Even though he's a good 10 years older than Donald. I'll take that liver spotted nigga over. Over the DT. Double H all the way.
But not over the Mooch.
I'll take the Mooch first.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, if I'm gonna get fucked, I would like to have a chance at it going well.
Yeah,
this is the weirdest game of fuck, marry, kill I've ever been near.
Oh, fuck, marry, kill. I mean,
I'm gonna get on a list if I play this game.
Well, that's my question. Because I've never been.
I would kill all three.
I've never played fuck, marry, kill. Where is necrophilia part of the? Can we work that in? That is honestly,
Actually, I wouldn't kill Hugh Hefner because he's actually done quite a bit for women's rights. So
no, absolutely. Well, Hef, I think
I would marry him.
Hef would be the marry. Yeah.
Scaramucci is the fuck, and then both Donald and Scaramucci are also the kill.
But before or after the fuck? That's
before. Italians can fuck.
Oh,
I'm
can
gonna give him that.
you fuck them with a chainsaw? Because then that changes the game.
Yeah, or can I fuck them? Like, it's not that I'm getting penetrated.
Yeah, you're pegging.
Yeah.
I'm pegging him.
By the way, if the NSA is listening, it's all hypothetical. We're
Yes.
just spitballing
it's
here.
mostly
But
hypothetical, NSA.
Like Alex Jones, this is just performance art.
Right.
We aren't actually advocating any of the things we're saying. This is performance art. We are all comedians.
I didn't say
We are
it.
trained professionals.
I'm going to say you do you, boo.
Just with a chainsaw.
Not with the chainsaw.
Well, speaking
Just
of-
like
of-
a crucifix dildo.
Speaking of who's doing who, this past Wednesday was, ironically, the 69th anniversary of Eisenhower desegregating the armed forces.
Mm-hmm.
So what better way to honor that moment in history than by tweeting that transgender individuals will no longer be welcome in the armed forces?
My favorite response to that is the Pentagon's like, no, we're not really going to do that, though.
You know,
Like, they're just like, their response was so like, I mean, they're playing a political game, obviously, but it's like, if you unpack it all and decipher the code of their response, it's just like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
And
well,
even the ones who
I do
who
have to admit,
probably
I
would've-
was a little concerned, like when the first statement came out that
Yeah.
there will be no change to policy, and I'm like, wait a minute, current policy or what was just tweeted this morning? Like,
Yeah.
what isn't changing? Please let me know.
Right.
Well, they're talking about a good 15,000 troops. Like the Pentagon, the military can't afford to lose everybody that's been allowed to be transgender in the military since it's become a thing where they can do it openly. Like, that's 15,000 people. Like, I'm talking about like an administrative, like not just in combat, administratively. Like, my brother was in the military for a long time. He was a Marine, and he's very conservative in a lot of ways, but he's also very apolitical. And really, his only concern was just like, because he had gay troop like members in his unit and stuff like that. And he was just like, first of all, ain't nobody
But did
thinking
he
about
have his
any.
unit in any gay troops? Hey, no. sorry, Clee's brother.
He wouldn't appreciate that joke.
I'm sure he wouldn't. And
But
not
it's
that
like
there's
he's
anything
really
wrong
just
with
like,
it. As we learned
how are
earlier.
you? As long as you can do your job, I really don't give a fuck. And that's like, I would say, from his estimation of what discussions I've had with him about this in the past, even before last Wednesday, his estimation is like, I would say a good 75 to 85% of active and relatively recently retired military really don't give a fuck if you are gay or transgender. They don't. They simply do not care.
Yeah,
especially
as long
if they're
as
in
you
combat.
got their back.
Yeah,
That's
especially if you're in
what it's
combat,
about.
and even administratively, because it's just like administratively is like, what's the goddamn difference? And in combat is like, can you do your job? Then why do I care?
Well,
Because like his unit leader was a woman, and she looked like Rachel Ray, and she was really peppy, and it was hilarious.
You know what I think is so funny is that I feel like Trump, once again, hugely miscalculated. He's having a shitty week. He was like, okay, I'm going to fall on my base here. They've got my back. He tweets this and is completely wrong because all these military leaders, all these people in Congress were like, oh, no, that's not, no, we don't.
Because like they
agree.
depend on gays and transgender people too much. Like it's too like you can't now. You can't like that door was opened by Bill Clinton in the 90s when he had even don't ask, don't tell. Even though it was, it wasn't as far as a step as we would have liked to have taken. It led to the steps of people being able to serve openly now. And now it is way too late to. If you shut that door, you're literally cutting a good third of the military.
You cannot put the KY back in the tube. As
Exactly.
they say.
And it's like who's going to replace those people? Sure as fuck not Donald's kids.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald, he's making military decisions, but the guy deferred, was it 4 or 5 times?
Well, four
Four
it was
for
four
school.
four student deferments and 1 bone spurs
his
that
feet
that
hurt.
he was still able to play tennis.
Yeah.
And then he forgot which foot had the bone spurs later on.
But I think that he did that because he's coming down on Sessions, and his base is like, you can't pick on our favorite racist, and so he was like, oh, okay, I need to fire Sessions to get this Russia investigation shut down because I can't get to Mueller otherwise. So I got to do something to please the base. So I'll out bigot the resident bigot. So they're like competing to see who hates women, gay people, or minorities more, so that they can get their base, which is a really sad statement about who their base is.
Well, and to backtrack, what we were talking about earlier, that is basically why it's so difficult not to see the base as stupid.
But eventually you're going to if you would try to offend everybody, eventually you are going to offend everybody. Mm-hmm. And there is a segment of his base that is eventually going to be offended. Like, there are people who are already part of his base who are just like, but this healthcare shit though, I never thought that you would attack my health. And they know that they're actually smart enough to realize I need ACA. Mm-hmm. I need it. And so then they're like, that's part of his base that was leaving. And then now it's just like military people, and then their sons and daughters are coming back from their deployments and being like, and telling them, even if their parents or whatever are feeling that way, their sons and daughters coming back and like, I don't give a fuck if my fucking guy in my unit or girl in my unit is gay or transgender. I don't give it, because that dude saved my life, or that girl saved my life and they had my back, or fucking Sheila, who used to be John, is really great at fucking filing orders to order ordinance and shit. Like, whoever you are, they know that so then that's part of his base. It's like, eventually you're going to offend every single person so much that you're going to chip away. They're actually, what they're doing is they're sort of self-destructing in a way at it's a glacier's pace right now, but they're going to offend everybody because
it makes. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I'm finished.
So, you reminded me that this week I've seen a lot of memes by Trump supporters that are mocking Reince, mm-hmm. And mocking Jeff Sessions, mm-hmm. and it's this really weird sort of eating of itself.
Yeah.
Where I'm sure eventually there will be memes by his base mocking Bannon, mocking Kelly.
Speaking of eating yourself.
Yeah.
There already are memes.
Well done. Well done. Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah, that was excellent.
There already are memes that, within the base that are mocking Bannon and Kellyanne because they're supposedly not doing enough. It's like, it goes back to that Australian lady who was shot by the cops. And then now all of a sudden, all the people who were Blue Lives Matter are now defending this white woman and not this black cop that shot her. And you're just like, do you see?
Right.
And some of the hypocrisy is being exposed, and some of those people are actually being like, we were stupid. Some of them are still willfully ignorant, and the cognitive dissonance is real, and it's Real Housewives of.
Well, speaking of people not defending the cops, one of Trump's campaign appearances this week, because really that's all they all are eventually.
Yeah, he's still holding rallies like he's running.
Yeah, it's so disturbing.
Obama didn't give this many speeches. We should talk about you talk about Obama golfing. How many rally speeches have you given though?
One spent golfing on and putting money back in his own pockets because he's golfing at Trump courses and
GW was just clearing bush out of his Texas ranch. Remember those days?
Good times. Good times. But did you guys see the Trump gave to the cops on Long Island mm-hmm. this week, where he basically gave tacit approval mm-hmm. to police brutality. Fuck due process for anyone. And we were talking about this on the show last week, that Jeff Sessions, who has since he's been back in office, he's been talking about bringing back civil asset forfeiture. And civil asset forfeiture, being rough with people who are suspects. These are all ideas to deny Americans their due process. The whole idea that you are innocent until proven guilty. And the way I figure it is, Jeff Sessions is under suspicion for collusion because he had meetings with Kislyak, the Russian ambassador, that he didn't disclose on the forms where he was supposed to disclose them. So to me, that says that Sessions is already under suspicion, which by his own rule should mean that we should be taking all of Jeff Sessions' shit away from him because he is a suspect and he is dangerous, and because he initially said that he only met with Kislyak in the auspices of his job as a senator. Well, that means that everything he has earned from his job as a senator is tainted. Therefore, all of that should be taken away. His house, his cars, his government insurance, and now, because of what Trump said this week to the cops on Long Island, Sessions should also be roughed up while he's being arrested or taken in for questioning, as should